Oh, muted. There we go. Thank you very much, Slow-Mo Panda. Hi, Awesome Stella. I wasn't sure I was going to be... Oh, gosh, dang. 10 months. Thank you so much. Wasn't sure. It was a little... Oh, god damn it. God damn it. No. Not that. What the fuck? What the hell we... There we go. Weird. Opinions on weed. How old are you? If you are trying weed for the first time. Komura of Hestia. Hell yeah. That sounds rad as hell. I mean, for you, waiting for sushi. I am... less fortunate. I'm actually going to go change. I don't like the way this top is looking on camera, so I'm going to go change real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back now. Hello, everybody. And now, you know what? It's gonna drive me fucking crazy. I'm gonna go touch up my lipstick real quick, so right before this, Carnal, it is a dead domain stream. Right before this, I just spent like 2 hours recording my entire video, which drastically yesterday increased the size for the video deep dive expose summary on the pissed off lawyer. Didn't actually know if I was going to stream tonight because I was so tired, but I didn't know if I would be doing anything else, but I am not. Koa was invited to a event that it was made very clear I was not wanted at, so I am here with you fine people. Just y'all, me, and a hype train, and my overdrawn bank account. Thank you very much, Hammock, at Tier 1 for 22 months on a 21-month streak. I don't know why it doesn't say... Was there a break at some point? But no, I'm chill with weed. I like weed. I'm very much a lightweight though, Stella. Like that's true. You and the brick wall in between. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I am going to go touch up my lipstick, get some nasal spray, and I'll be right back. Uno momento. In fact, I will. And Robin Xavier, thank you very much. Alright, sorry. I am back. See? Lipstick fixed. Relatively. Come on, man. Carnell MD, thank you for subscribing at tier 1. Where the fuck? I have like a bajillion nasal sprays. And I know I just used some of them. What the hell, man? All right, there we go. I've got water. I sound a bit better. I think I am. I'm doing a little bit better. Yeah, I'm doing okay as I can be. Sick wise. Other things are, you know, life is life. Yeah. Hey, Johnny Viral. What is Kermit holding? Kermit's holding the Jarch right now. Julia, the Demon Counselor, thank you very much for subscribing to Prime. Don't forget, over on Prime, I believe we are in yes, we are at level 1 on a hype train. We're 93% of the way to level 2. To pry, currently it's negative $13 car now. I am overdrafted by $13, which is fine. It is not, the biggest deal in the world. I do have money coming, but it's still very frustrating because it's one of those things where it's just annoying. I'm in that cycle of bills where everything coming in is already accounted for. So every bit of income I have coming in the next month is already going towards some outstanding bill. Ammon Animations is a Jarch knower. Aw. I think Ammon was there when we did that. I feel like also rip in pasta. Thank you, Johnny Viral, though. Yeah, Johnny Viral will be doing chat ads. We also have a community member who is even worse off than myself and many others, struggling with housing right now. So, Johnny Viral, if you could put Naomi's info in the chat so people could go donate and help somebody get a little bit of housing right now, because they're in a very fraught position. So anybody who can go help, I would appreciate if you did. I found the Jarch because of Ammon Animation. That is correct. That is correct. Yes, and over on the YouTube chat, there's Johnny Viral posting the link to the Ko-Fi for anybody who wants to help Naomi. And tell you what, y'all, if I get up to $100 donated tonight, I will wear cat ears for the rest of the stream, despite the seriousness of the subject matter. I need to really take time and like dig into how to like put those little goals and reaching goals and shit up on stream. What I need to do is get production, but I don't have that. Sorry, I'm checking something right now. Piccolo the Goat, you're so real for that. I don't keep up with politics unless you stream since I need breaks from it since it stresses me out. Real though. That's fucking real. You're so, hey Piccolo, imagine how I feel. I'm the person that has to talk about it. You and everybody else is tired of hearing it. All right, one more thing, and then we will actually tell you what. I'm actually, Scout's Honor, we're going to put this up on the screen so we can actually start talking about the big news of today, which is, oh boy, those Epstein files are coming in and coming in hard, and it's becoming readily apparent that Trump is not going to be able to sidestep this much longer. And honestly, look, so all right, hang on. I'll be right back. I got to do a thing. I'll be right back. We'll talk about it then. Alrighty, let me see. Huh, your recent hyperfixation has been politics? What? Oh no. Are the files open yet? No. So, oh boy. So let's try and I'll put together a little bit of a timeline because this kind of started very early this morning. I think these are the ones with the emails. And if people ever wonder, hey, why don't you get off Twitter? It's because like look at how easy it is to source shit on Twitter. Like when shit like this breaks, it's fucking everywhere there. You honestly don't get this kind of action for from fucking Blue Sky. God, I forgot the name of it. Holy shit. All right. Mr. Fluffy Wolf, let's get to donos really quick. I think, oh my god. Thank you very much for $20 for the overdrafted Neko ear fund. And Sound of Azure, thank you for $3.99. Shiba Dog raises and lowers index finger to get noticed. Watching firefighter response vids. No, see, I can understand that. Firefighter response vids sounds tight. Like that sounds like it whips. I'm gonna be for real. Yeah, people were basically live tweeting the Epstein stuff today, so I want to kind of go over a lot of the hits. And so the unfortunate part of this is that I won't like be able to God, I won't be able to react really to a lot of the people, like the regular conservative pundits we'd go and look at, because they aren't really like, there's kind of this weird schism right now where there are conservatives who are abandoning Trump smartly because they can see where the wind is blowing. And then you have people like Nancy Mace who are posting on their Twitter about like, we're doing a waffle fundraiser, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, girl, come on. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Cool Mode Dragon, thank you for being here. Oh, also, I have to start wearing these because somebody just straight up donated 100 through Ko-Fi. So, thank you for that. It is time for Nya Domain. Um, I also need to send. I don't know if Juno's watching, but thank you so much, Juno. I did get the mouse, which is so gorgeous and amazing, and I love her so much. Um, it's just thank you so much. I am so ready. I don't know when the other ones, the other pieces will arrive, like the Stream Deck and the keyboard will arrive, but I am so looking forward to it because then I will be able to use my new computer, and I'm so excited to be able to have like just a little bit more horsepower. I'm so excited to like actually start being able to reinvest in content. It should be illegal for the ears to match my hair. Yeah. Yeah. It's a really fucking cool. A lot of the stuff I got, the keyboard as well has a really like retro analog, retro future vibe. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Theo Turgos, you know your D&D video got a lot of right wingers triggered. Fucking stain on your teeth. Oh yeah, I did. Damn it. Bleh. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll go. I need to go clean that up. God damn it. No, my cat literally just hopped on my leg. I love you, baby. All right, now I gotta go clean my goddamn lips. Teeth. I'll be right back. Okay, finally done. Theo Turgoose. I think we did watch. Did we all watch Arch Warhammer's fucking reaction to my D&D video? I watched part of it. If I remember right, it was pretty fucking boring. He blames people like me for the fall of Warhammer. I think I did. It feels so. It feels like something I would have done. Yeah, no more coup. What's my opinion on the super gay game Splatoon? Honestly, actually not very much of an opinion on Splatoon, if I'm being real. Where did Kitty at? The kitty went back to her tower. Okay, we watched an Arch video about D&D, not his reaction to my video. I mean, I don't know. I don't really care about fucking Arch Warhammer that much to like try and turn it into a beef or anything. Yeah, RDY 2810. Yeah, we did. Okay. Oh, yeah. I forgot Monty the Ogre. He's just the Archcast now because Games Workshop was like, nah, bitch. The cat is on stream. Yeah. Paw. Fucking tell me about it. All right. From Julie K. Brown, breaking, and this was last edited 5:57. New Jeffrey Epstein email suggests President Trump spent hours with a sex trafficking victim. From House Oversight, see, now I'm going to keep checking my teeth. Now I'm going to keep being like, From House Oversight, quote, ranking member Robert Garcia released never-before-seen emails from the latest production from Jeffrey Epstein estate, striking a blow against the White House's Epstein cover-up. In private correspondence with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein wrote in 2011, that Donald Trump, quote, spends hours at my house spent hours at my house with a victim of sex trafficking, referring to Trump as a dog that hasn't barked. In a separate email with author Michael Wolff in 2019, Epstein stated explicitly that Trump knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. In another email with Wolff in 2015, Epstein and Wolff discuss if they can craft an answer for Trump's upcoming CNN interview, with Wolff characterizing Epstein's leverage over Trump, saying, if he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Imperfect Rebus, holy shit. My anniversary for 19 months in a row. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. The Epstein estate released a total of 23,000 documents that the Oversight Committee is currently reviewing. Quote, the more Donald Trump tries to cover up the Epstein files, the more we uncover. These latest emails and correspondence raise glaring questions about what else the White House is hiding and the nature of the relationship between, which I feel like is pretty fucking clear at this point. Like, the nature of the relationship between Trump and Epstein, I don't think there are a lot of people anymore who are like, how did you two meet? How did they know each other? No. There we go. Marie Trans, it sounds like your cat is eating a bowl of Cheerios. No, that was my dog. That's, if you can ever hear, God, it was so annoying. If you can ever hear like lady crunching, I had to what's the word I'm looking for? Silence. I had to like use noise reduction stuff on the last stream highlight I did on like the Trump crypto shit, because lady, you can hear her so fucking loud. $2 from Mario Striker. Thank you very much. You don't discipline your cat when they're off camera? What am I gonna discipline a cat for? Like, what? Like, it's a cat. Do you Domain, have you seen season 2 of? No, I'm waiting for all of season 2 of Has-Been to come out. And even then, knowing me, I will probably not watch it for like several months, and then I'll sit down and binge the whole thing, because that's how I do. I haven't even started watching Smiling Friends. So let's actually go and look at some of these emails that they have. So here is Saturday, April 2nd, 2014. I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't. So one other thing that people, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Hell yeah, CR Rent, congratulations. Thank you for $100 double cat ears. Here, I could do double cat ears. Also, hi, just got my first check for my new job. Super fat bonus from working overtime. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Thank you, CR Rent. Nathan Yu, have I seen Andor season 2 yet? Nope. Still haven't. Which is weird, because like, I'm in enough circles with like pop culture consuming people who do that regularly. So I see the conversations that are happening about things like I see, for example, if somebody is talking about, I've seen so much Radio Static fan art, by the way, of Has-Been season 2. And so like I can kind of assume what one of the episodes are about. Andor and a couple of the shows are ones that I want to get to, but I don't have. When I have all right, let me layer my hobbies like this. When I have the bandwidth to actually sit down and like play video games, which is not something I do a lot now. I am watching something, and if it is not something that requires no, and it's usually a Destiny thing. It's usually a Destiny thing right now because I am, even when I am relaxing or taking time off, I'm still doing work. That's kind of just how I operate. And so like the idea of when I have so much research still to do on Destiny, I have so much stuff I still need to catalog. The idea of me watching a TV show in my what, off time, in my free time, huh? The official has-been account. Okay, so Piccolo the Goat. I say this as somebody with an Angel Dust sticker right here. I say this as somebody who's done an Angel Dust cosplay, right? Like, feel the need to remind everybody. Good. They shouldn't do the Commander Shepard story. What they should do is like explore the rest of that universe. I don't really like, and I'm already not a big Mass Effect fan. We've talked about this. I downloaded. I was gonna play Mass Effect on stream at one point. Mass Effect 2. Oh no. There we go. Yeah, here's Angel. Here's my Angel Dust, right? So, as somebody who has done an Angel Dust cosplay, right? And I say as somebody who also has an Angel Dust sticker on the mic. There's somebody at my local Magic event who regularly, and they're like a totally fine, chill person. They're fun to play with. They make okay decks. But they have a playmat of Valentino, which is like having a playmat of like R. Kelly, the R. Kelly of the Has-Been Hotel universe, and it's just like, it's so weird. Oh no, Piccolo the Goat. I know you're talking about Val. Also, Jet Souls Forever might actually be more on Firefox because there's an update that is just being shit for me. But okay, so aside from that, one of the things that is so fascinating / hilarious to me was the revelation that Jeffrey Epstein was like a barely literate dullard. And I forgot about how fucking stupid he is and how he texts until I look through some of these emails. Uh-oh. Are we okay? Yeah, no, someone's favorite has-been character being Valentino is a major red flag. Yeah. Yeah. We're back? Okay, I think on Twitch I went down for a second. That's so awesome. I love that. I love paying a bunch of money for internet. CR Rent, what's up? Nothing much. What's up with you? So yeah, you get that like FC Spotify playlist, how does one misspell exercise? It's God, the dumbest people. There's a line in a Run the Jewels song where LP says something like, kind of seems like the worst of us have all the chips. Kind of takes the sheen off of people getting rich. And it's like, it really does seem like, damn, all these motherfuckers are so wretched and stupid. Yeah, I also straight up Awesome Stella, I don't understand why people find like here's the thing. And not like in a way that I find, because I kind of think a lot of the has-been characters are too abstract to be like sexualized. Like they just don't even really resemble like humans enough to me. But also not like monster fuckery enough. And like when I saw Alistair for the first time, after years of just seeing fan art of the character, I was like, oh no, I get it. Actually, yeah, I kind of get that. Okay, but here's the problem. Um, Janky Teeth, maybe I'm too woke, but people's favorite character being Val isn't that big of a deal to me. Like he's not real. And normally I would agree with you. Like it's fucking fiction. Um, but Val's defining characteristic is sex slavery, being a sex slaver. Like that is the main thing, especially in season 1. That's like the main thing his character does is be horrendously abusive. Like there's honestly not much more to the character outside of being an abusive piece of shit. Like it's just like I the yeah, anyway. Um here's Jeffrey Epstein going from one fictional abuse conversation to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm fighting a war on two fronts here. I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc., etc. I'm 75% there. So that is, and I need to be incredibly clear. That is, in the most clear way that we've heard yet, confirmation that Trump spent, quote unquote, according to one of the most prolific pedophiles and sex traffickers and apparently Israeli spies in modern history. That's another thing. The president spent hours with an underage girl. What does the 70% mean? I have no idea, actually. I expect that'll be explained kind of over time. Victim, Mar-a-Lago, redacted. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never remember ever. Of course he knew about the girls. He asked Ghislaine to stop. So that is him talking to Michael Wolff. Let's go to email 3. Here we go. So this is, again, Michael Wolff. This is in 2015, right? I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives it. This is before Trump was, this is when he was still running for office, right? This is the basis of Michael Wolff telling Epstein, hey, this gives you political leverage on him. They released the files? Not yet. So we'll get to the vote in a second because the vote is participating. One of my favorite parts of everything that's happening is that they are voting to release the files. And several Republicans, including people like Lauren Boebert, have signed on. And Trump personally today, Trump called Lauren Boebert to try and make a like sweetheart deal with her. And it's so good. Okay, but here's the thing, Johnny Viral. Mike Wolff needs to be brought up on charges, damage to the Republic. You could have released all this. So the problem is, I want you to think of an eventuality right now. Ben Smith, this is what I'm seeing right now. Why? Did things we already knew were happening get revealed as happening? Kind of. Napkins, I believe the vote already happened today. Yeah, and it was for Boebert to change her vote. And Carnell, I would be interested in that. Johnny Viral, Mike Wolff needs to be brought up on charges. Imagine you are Michael Wolff. You're working on a video. You're working on an expose into Trump. And Jeffrey Epstein is somebody that you not only have communications with, but is one of your sources. And then he dies under mysterious circumstances that everybody just chalks up to the most convenient suicide in the world. And the person who he apparently had dirt on when he was communicating with you was now the president, who has now created a massive cult of personality around him. And as of now, has a massive state apparatus behind him. So if you are Michael Wolff, I don't think there's anybody that could convince you to be like, yeah, come out with the dirt, dude. Like, huh? Yes, no, he meant Ghislaine should stop trafficking from Mar-a-Lago. That's exactly what he's saying. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you, or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that, when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. And this is all I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in scrum afterwards. Much to think about. Let's go. We got those ones. Go over to Miami Herald real quick, but first, let's watch White House trying the way God bless her, Carolyn Levitt, you're fucking trying. Oh, you're trying so hard. You're trying so hard. Let's watch her flop like a fish for a couple minutes. Yeah, he did in fact, like, might as well have predicted that. He did in fact say Jeffrey was a great guy.
Government reopening because of Republicans and President Trump.
But given your interest in transparency, Caroline, why are White House officials then meeting with Representative Boebert in an effort to try and get her to not sign this petition calling for the release of the files?
Doesn't it show transparency that members of the Trump administration are willing to brief members of Congress whenever they please? Doesn't that show our level of transparency? Doesn't that show the level of transparency when we are willing to sit down with members of Congress and address their concerns? That's a defining factor of transparency. Having discussions with members of Congress about various issues, and I'm not going to detail conversations that took place in the Situation Room in the
No, she aged 5 years being behind that podium fucking today. And yeah, you're right. People in the chat, like, it is the job essentially of the White House press secretary. Man, it's so funny to watch her be like, okay, but when you think about it, doesn't the fact that the president is reaching out to people to block it, doesn't the fact that the president talked to people, isn't transparency good? Like, when you think about it, oh, the spin is so, woo, lordy. That's good shit. That's good shit. So, Miami Herald has been on top of this as of today. Emails from sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein released Wednesday by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee say redundancy. We need hey, editor released Wednesday by the House Oversight Committee Wednesday say that President Donald Trump spent hours with the victim at his house and, quote, knew about the girls. The three emails, one of them between Epstein and his now convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, are the first to be released publicly by the Oversight Committee that say Trump was a victim. Trump has denied he participated in any of Epstein's crimes and has maintained that he was unaware the New York financier was trafficking underage girls and young women. In a statement, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt accused the Democrats of selectively leaking emails to the, quote, liberal media to create a fake narrative to smear President Trump. He said the unnamed victim, whose name is redacted from one of the emails, is the late Virginia Guthrie, who had previously denied that Trump was involved in Epstein's crimes. Asked whether the victim in question was Guthrie, I don't know why I said it that way, Guthrie, Sarah Guerrero, the communications director for the ranking member of the Oversight Committee, Democratic Representative Robert Garcia of California, declined to comment. Quote, we don't disclose the names of the victims. Now it is important to note that is legally, it is important to make the distinction that is not a confirmation of anything. Like, this is not a plead the fifth thing, even though I think a lot of people are going to take it as that in the court of public opinion, because here's the thing. Here's my personal thought. I don't think it's Guthrie. I think it's somebody else. Jouffre? It might be. And also it does make sense, like, legally there are rules and regulations that they cannot just disclose people's names and shit like this. The emails released are among 23,000 pages of documents that the committee has received from Epstein's estate, at least 20,000 of which were later made public Wednesday by Oversight Committee Republicans. In recent months, the committee has published thousands of additional documents obtained by the estate. Yeah. I mean, done randomly, oh gosh, if it's her, that poor woman, imagine the person who did that to you became president. I mean, that's been the conservative fucking party. Quote, the more Donald Trump tries to cover up the Epstein files, the more we uncovered. These latest emails and correspondence raise glaring questions about what else the White House is hiding and the nature of the relationship between Epstein and the president, Garcia said in the statement. So what I wanted to talk about, say beautiful name. I'm sorry, Alexandra the Cannibal. I'm not French. It looks kind of French. So one of the things I've talked about is how, because this has been a constantly unrolling story this year, and much like culture war shit, I don't really want to talk about it just to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it unless there's something to talk about. That being said, I think this is the turning point. This feels significant in a way that I haven't seen yet as part of this, like, everything about this. Cat, y'all can hear the cat yelling at me. French, it's Fritalian. I do love a frittata. 2 turning points this year. Hell yeah. Turning Point USA and this. Damn, much to think about. Much to think about. USA. USA. Miss Genderland, you look amazing tonight, and I love the ears. Thank you. Then you will love, this is the exact same look I did for my video on Hendricks, the pissed off lawyer. And the cat, except for the cat ears. The cat ears are because people donated for the cat ears. But I still appreciate the cat ears. The cat ears are good for me. It's the most damning thing that's come out about this. We gotta see it ends up. So I think a couple things, because I've been thinking since we last talked. When we last talked, we talked about how the Supreme Court, even though they have a conservative majority right now, are not like, they're not in a place that they are going to push something like rolling back gay marriage, right? And I think a lot of people are realizing that everything Trump has done has happened so fucking fast. I look like Chaperone. Oh, that's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. Thank you. In total fairness, though, my mom did kind of look like Chaperone when she was younger, and I know for a fact I do look like my mom. So, That's been the fucking craziest part of estrogen really starting to take more of an effect. Has been like putting on red lipstick and seeing my mom in a mirror is fucking bizarre. Yeah, no, Steve Bannon. So Steve Bannon famously said that, like, oh, if they and here's the thing, is that you're going to have two people now in the conservative movement, and those that will fall away when they hear people like Steve Bannon say, if the Democrats win this next election, they're going to arrest us all. And at this point, with everything Trump has done, as close as he's been to people like Bannon and Roger Stone and all of these others, these other hucksters and opportunists and grifters and liars, that I think half of the people are going to hear that, and that will at least cause their confidence to break enough to be like, well, what have they done that's so bad? Because the Dems couldn't get them on election shit. So if they're gonna go to prison this next time, I feel like it's almost a cry wolf situation, unless they did something even worse. Hello, Buddha de Bop. Oh no, yeah, Dross Danu, there need to be arrests if we win. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of these people, and one of the things I talked about, I did a video a little while ago where I kind of looked into the weird emerging conservative culture of like influencers as politicians, and kind of working backwards from Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth. You eventually get to people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, kind of by extension. And I think that their big mistake in like opening such a wide door to people who were just honest and just spoke truth to power and couldn't be censored and were just these free speech advocates is that I don't think people like Trump understood that very specific brand of upper middle class blonde white woman belligerency doesn't really kowtow to anybody if they don't buy that bullshit. If they buy into the bullshit, it's fine. They'll talk shit on you all day long. But Marjorie Taylor Greene in particular has smelled something off for months and months, and there's been a pretty public like falling out as she's continued to emphasize the need to release the full Epstein files. And I think having people like Lauren Boebert also, and the other thing is that like it is not insignificant that people like Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who before Nancy Mace had a monopoly on crazy white bitches who will just go along with whatever Trump says, have now broken with him over this specifically. Like, they are... I feel they're like it's a canary in the coal mine moment. Yeah, I think Dill is chill. I think you're exactly right. I think MTG was a Kool-Aid drinker who saw behind the curtain. Yeah. Like, and I think... Marjorie Taylor Greene in particular, I think, is like probably still believes at some level that, like, you know, you open up the Epstein files, you're going to see the Clintons, you're going to see spirit cooking and Huma Abedin videos and all that shit. But then I also think there's like the more resistance and pushback she's gotten from MAGA after spending so long supporting them cannot be good. Yeah, no, both Greene and Boebert campaigned on a QAnon anti-pedo platform, and they might just be dying on that hill. No, like, I truly think the conservative movement, or at least MAGA, did not expect these people to be as, like, because here's the thing. When they go and they say, well, you know, we like Vivek Ramaswamy, because he's like Trump. He's an outsider. He's not bought and paid for. He's not a career politician like these lib Dems. And that, again, that kind of like, Trump gave them a line to shoot for, that like, oh, you're not a quote unquote career politician. You're able to sell yourself as above that, you know, that kind of bullshit. When the reality for people like Trump, for people like Vivek, is that they aren't a in name career politician, perhaps, but they are effectively working in their own self-interest. The thing is that they unleashed the white woman Kraken and didn't understand that when those white ladies said they're not career politicians, what they meant was they are not interested in playing those political games. They actually live by that shit. And it's like fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy that they are very well could end up being the threads that unravel this shit. Thank you very much. I'm going to go over some domos. Thank you very much. Slow Mo Panda, thank you for $2. Worried about vote on rebanning THC. Did you see it? Yeah, I saw that shit. That's fucking stupid. I don't know how worried people should be, because I also think K Luna, I almost liked Fuentes' tweet that said MAGA is dead. Yeah, no, Fuentes, being the conniving little shit that he is, saw the tea leaves, although his principled stances against MAGA are based more in the fact that during the campaign he was still talking to Israel, and that's basically why Nick Fuentes started down the path he's on now. It just so happened to be the right bet because of all the shit like this coming out, and now people are unfortunately being like, damn, wow, Nick Fuentes has so much good political acumen. It's like, no, he just didn't want to go down with the ship, and he could see it like fucking coming. Come on, stop giving this little worm any amount of credit or goodwill. Like he has never deserved it. Josh Woods, thank you for $5. Don't forget Bannon was one of the last people that Epstein employed. Much to think about. Mackenzie L, thank you for $5. Given how worried someone like Bannon is, how damning will this be for the MAG movement? MAGA's biggest mouthpieces seem absolutely terrified. I think it's pretty fucking like by all Beltway insiders, by all the people who usually, you know, they have like sources inside the White House are reporting, the White House is in a fucking meltdown right now. Like, behind the walls, people are losing their fucking minds for this shit. This is not something that they're brushing off, because I think they know they can't. The real one here deserves credit as world's most popular flat earther, Candace Owens. Yeah, man. Candace, good job, I guess. The 3 emails were written during critical times in Epstein's life. One was in 2011 when the FBI was beginning to suspect that the crimes he committed in Florida in the early 2000s went beyond those he committed in Palm Beach. The second exchange came in 2015 after Guthrie filed a court affidavit exposing Epstein and Maxwell of running a sex trafficking network that catered to wealthy and politically connected men. The third email in 2019 came less than a month after the Miami Herald published an investigation into Epstein's abuse of dozens of high school girls. The series, Perversion of Justice, detailed how Fed prosecutors negotiated a sweetheart deal that gave Epstein and others federal immunity for sex trafficking of the girls, and how federal prosecutors, under former Miami U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta, sealed the agreement so no one would know. The series led to widespread outrage over the case. Now, here's the thing. The other part of that to keep in mind is sorry, I have to take a sip. The other part of this to keep in mind is that the lawyers who handled this case that got Epstein off, the one where he was able to just basically able to keep rampantly abusing people. Spirited Corpse, thank you for tier 1 for 17 months. Don't forget, every 10 subs I get on Twitch right now, I get an extra like 250 biddies, which is great for me. So if you haven't subbed up yet, or if you've been waiting to sub, now is the perfect time to support your favorite streamer. That way all of this work on my makeup doesn't have to be for naught. Alan Dershowitz is the fucking person that I wanted to bring up. Alan Dershowitz, who was also a Trump lawyer for a really long time and has consistently sided with Trump on this issue. So next time you see somebody bringing up that asshole as like, oh, can Trump actually do this? And Alan Dershowitz will saunter onto the scene and be like, well, yes, actually, when you do this, that, and the other. Remember, Alan Dershowitz is one of the people who got Epstein off. Centaur74, thank you for $10. Your openness about gender made me realize I'm genderqueer. I only just came out a few weeks ago and already feel so much happier. Sincerest thank you from Australia. Oh, thank you very much, Centaur74. I'm happy for you. I am so... Man, I was gonna cover D-trans shit, but I'm fucking done with it after this video on the pissed off lawyer that I've been working on, because I spent 3 hours on, what is today? Today's Wednesday. Is that Monday? I think it was Tuesday. No, I think it was Monday, actually. I spent 3 hours or was it Sunday? It doesn't matter. I spent 3 hours in a fucking Twitter space listening to TERFs and D-trans people bitch and moan, and it's such a... It's just miserable. It's just miserable. Aw, Carnal MD. Honestly, I think my family's positive reaction to your videos is what gave me the courage to come out and, by extension, ordering estrogen. Congrats. Thank you. I am glad to hear that. It's always weird when people tell me that they've watched my videos with their family, because I'm like, I don't know. I guess I don't picture people watching my videos at all, which is a weird, like, how do those views get there? Zombinary, I can't imagine how wild the video is going to be after I've been posting about Hendrix since June. So I am staying pretty far away from, not pretty far. I addressed like some of the bigger controversies, but I'm going to not cover and talk about a lot of the drama, like the drama for drama's sake of it all, because yeah, why? It's beside the core point of the piece, which is really going to be an illustration. Like the thing that, as I started digging more into it, and the reason I wanted to take more time on it, because I was hoping to have it out by today. But the reason I want to take more time on it is because it is such a thorough autopsy of how kind of radical thought preys on people in their lowest moments. Like the amount of people who... The amount of similarities Hendrix's story has to all of the white nationalists I investigated and interviewed last year for my Leaving White Nationalism documentary, it's kind of staggering. And so, like, as that dawned on me, that was a big impetus behind massively expanding the piece. So I am hoping, I'm going to be busting my ass on that tomorrow. I'm hoping that it will be out Friday. Fingers crossed. Pixie Punk, Pinky Punk, thank you very much for $5. You also helped me come out as trans. Spent 2.5 years on HRT and just got prescribed progesterone today. So happy and excited. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Oh, Moss Pole Dancer, my adult trans mass son and I watch your videos together. We're both in DSA as well. That's so adorable. That's so cute. I didn't expect it to just be an expose. It's kind of not. It's a whole thing. Anyway, sorry if it seems like I'm shaking. It's because my dog wants to play wrestling with me. Hell yeah, Carnal MD. 6 months in the E. Hopefully I start getting effects soon. If you haven't started feeling effects, you might want to check your dosage. I was on like an insanely low dose that did actually nothing. Oh, Pinky Punk, what you do matters. Stop it. You're going to make me cry. You're going to make me cry on the stream. Stop it. In one email made public Wednesday, written in 2011, Epstein wrote to Maxwell that Trump spent, quote, hours at his house with one of Epstein's sex trafficking victims, adding that, I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. The email was written years after Epstein served a short jail term as part of the plea deal he received in 2008. However, in 2011, new allegations against Epstein had surfaced, and the FBI was once again interviewing potential new victims. Another email, so we just went over all of this, blah, blah, blah. The stunning new development comes as the House prepares to force a congressional vote, so that is what happened today, I believe, to release case files that the Department of Justice and the FBI has on the Epstein case. During the run-up to the 2024 election, Trump and his acolytes promised transparency. However, shortly after he was elected, Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi and his FBI Director, Kash Patel, abruptly changed their minds, effectively closing the files. They claimed there was no, quote, credible evidence that other people were involved in Epstein's crimes. I don't know why. I almost slipped into my Bill Maher. They claimed there was no credible evidence that the other people were involved in Epstein's crimes. 499, thank you, Zig. A W in the chat for the trans people dead domain helped on their journeys. I'm very flattered. I appreciate that. Epstein's victims have mobilized in recent months, appearing in private before members of Congress to urge them to release all records. So again, this narrative, because now you're getting, at this point, you're getting this narrative from a lot of conservatives being like, well, you want to protect the victims, right? We can't unredact everything in there because then we won't be able to. Is that hot in here? Protect the victims. Transparency. That's going to be what most like Capitol Hill Republicans press conferences are going to be like for the near future. And it's funny because Epstein's victims have mobilized in recent months, appearing in private to urge them to release all records. Their effort has been stymied by congressional Republicans who have voted not to release the files. The House is expected to swear in a new Democrat from Arizona who will be the deciding vote that could lead to a full House vote. And the thing that they are trying to do now, because of that election, is now trying to turn the conservatives who voted yes, like Lauren Boebert, telling them to vote no. Oh, Clown Expo, you personally invited me to these streams after I left a comment about your positive community. Just adore you. That's how it is. Thank you. I feel bad that I'm not able to. I'm really, really bad with names. Like here's the thing. I'm bad with names and faces. But when you reduce it to literal, like I can look at somebody's face and be like, oh, I know them. I'm good with faces, bad with names. So when you take away the faces and it's just usernames, I'm even worse. Puddick, thank you very much for $1.99. Every Disney sitcom star needs to testify. Oh, honestly, I am all in favor. Like, I'm an accelerationist when it comes to like pedophile and sex abuse culture. Like, I am 100% in favor of, I don't care who it hurts. I don't care who's affected. I don't care if your favorite, my favorite. I don't care if it's every elected official. If anybody did that shit, mods, like, they need to be fucking low tier godded. That's what I'm saying. Kelsey Soloway, thank you very much for $5 Canadian. Could Biden have released the Epstein files? So there were a number, off the top of my head, I don't remember what they were, but there were a number of like procedural reasons why they weren't, because I think the quote unquote investigation was ongoing. And it was also, it's important to remember, the primary problem with somebody like Biden was that he wasn't the bad guy, quote unquote bad guy, that MAGA and Trump made him out to be. So, like, everything the Biden administration did they were as procedural and as clinical and by the book as possible, because anything they found, they wanted to, if we're gonna take him down, we need to do this right, and we need to do all this other stuff. And look at where that got us. What Biden needed to do was go in there and fight fucking dirty, but that wasn't Biden's style. He was still trying to appeal to congressional and Senate Republicans. He was still trying to reach across the aisle, and the only way we can come together as Americans is if we come to and that's the great piece of America is what you make. Anyway, and that was basically the last 2 years of Biden's entire fucking presidency, because they were so into their fucking norms and shit, and I hate it. El Salve, thank you very much for 5. If leftism is declared an illness by law, wouldn't that mean they all get free disability, welfare, and cash benefits? Or am I just hypocrites? That would absolutely never happen. Absolutely never happen. Ewo, thank you very much for $4.99. Did you see that the UK has announced it has stopped sharing military intelligence with the US? I'd be down. Ooh. I did not, but that's another thing. Here, let me actually write that down, so I'll look into it later. Oh, Sinatra Says. That's another thing I have on a thing that people wanted me to look into on stream. I am going to be doing, I don't know when yet, because I want to make sure I have good sources, but I will be doing another deep dive conservative comedy marathon. I haven't done one in over a year. I will be doing that soon. But let's see. Yeah. U.S. Intel. Zig, thank you very much. Oh, yes. You did that. Will that be part of the subathon? No. That would just be another one, because I'll turn that into another video. Go up in price because of the tariffs? Pasta? Huh. Interesting. Will I go to CPAC again? No. The reason I went to CPAC specifically last year was because it was an election year. Like, other than that, the only thing served by me going to CPAC for basically the next 2 years and this year would have been to do the same thing again, which I don't really want to. I'm trying to continue pushing myself and do new things. The problem is that doesn't always, Ms. Genderlin, how's your Destiny video coming along? Good. I'm probably about halfway through writing at this point. I really need a full, solid day of writing, and then a couple days of editing, and then I'm hoping if I can record it this month and really just fucking hammer down on it, I can get it out end of the month, maybe. But yeah, it's another video where it's like I can't just do. It's kind of the same thing with Brianna Wu, where it's like there's so much about this person on the internet. I have no interest in doing just a summary. I never do. I never have. Just a summary of what they are, but more getting down to who they are and why they are that way. And there's just a lot there with Steven. There's just a lot there. Also, yeah, John Bainbridge, if I go back, people would probably recognize me. At some level, not like saying like they'd be like, yes, that's them there. But there are thousands of people there. At least some of them, like I'm sure some of those Moms for Liberty nerds would get mad at me and be like, and point me out to the security. And yeah, Matt Schlapp would have no problem kicking my ass out on the curb. I would be sitting in the fucking lobby with Amanda Moore again. That's how Amanda and I actually met. If y'all haven't listened to the great podcast we did with Rosa on WTF Now, go over on the channel, go listen to it. I love talking to Amanda about stuff. I talked to her too about the Jubilee video earlier this year. But that was how Amanda and I met, sitting in the lobby, because she sat there for like 4 days during CPAC because she had had her pass revoked, but also was already on the trip, so she just sat outside monitoring all the fucking Nazis who were there. Excuse me. And don't burn out. Takes longer to recover than you borrow. I've got bad news. You're getting bigger. I remember some more news. I mentioned your vid on, I want to say, Lady Ballers. Yeah, they did. I think Cody follows me. Juliana, thank you very much for tier 1 for 27 months. Oh my god. I can't. Every time. Look, I'm so happy that people have been following me for 27 months. Every time a month goes by and it ticks up to a new month, I feel like I'm holding the fucking like chalice that withers that man at the end of Last Crusade. Damn. Epstein was found dead in his Manhattan federal jail cell while waiting trial in 2019. His death was ruled a suicide, though a subsequent investigation by the Federal Bureau of Prisons noted the cameras in the unit were not working and that guards had fabricated their reports. Epstein's brother, Mark, believes his brother was killed because he had damaging information on powerful people. Let's fucking go. I see oversight Dems. I think there are a couple other little revelations here. We've also got to talk about the El Salvador prison. Had a fucking heinous report come out that is just like expectedly heartbreaking. We talked about it months ago, and I do not want us to lose track of it. Vaxxed. Yeah, CCOT. Very fun. So I believe these are new, or unless these are the ones out, I think these might be the ones. Yeah, I think this is from this morning. Yep, dog that hasn't barked. Yeah, let's talk about the federal hemp ban. Which I believe is a dumbass tariff thing. We'll talk about that in a second, but let me see. Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the other one. Okay. As this was again 2014. God, Jeffrey was over fucking 50 at this time. Just a disgusting asshole. On Tuesday, December 8th, 2015, Thomas Jr. Landon wrote, "I am serious, man. For the good of the nation, why not try to get some of this out there? I would not do it myself, but would pass on to a political reporter. Plus, look at these lies." In response to a message left seeking the Trump campaign's comment on this article on Thursday, Trump's general counsel, Alex Garten, emailed threatening legal action against BuzzFeed News. Quote, "Mr. Trump's only connection with Mr. Epstein was that Mr. Epstein was one of thousands of people who had visited Mar-a-Lago. That's it. Mr. Trump has never been accused of having any involvement or even having any knowledge of any of Mr. Epstein's conduct by anyone," Garten wrote. "As a result, I have no idea what the purpose of your article could possibly be other than to try and intentionally and with actual malice defame my client's name and reputation by mentioning him in the same article as Epstein. In other words, suggest guilt by association. That is the very definition of irresponsible and reckless journalism, and to publish such a story would be highly unethical, even by BuzzFeed standards." Whew. Okay. Then wrote yes. And Jeffrey Epstein vacation at gmail.com wrote, "Would you like photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen?" That motherfucker did that shit. That motherfucker did that shit. Here's another one. Mind you, more and more of this shit keeps coming out. And I want you to imagine, if they get what they want and to have a full release, this is just a fraction of a fraction. These are just a few emails out of thousands, maybe tens of thousands. Like, I don't know what might happen if the actual news, if explicit in writing, it comes out, the thing that at this point we all fucking know. But I hope, oh God, I hope it does, because it will not only tarnish the reputation of Trump, but every one of his sycophants who went to fucking bat for him for years. People like Alex Jones, people like Steve Bannon, people like Mike Lindell, fucking done forever. Like, not only will we be rid of MAGA, but all of their major influencers will have lost any credibility to anybody that can still be reached in reality. Granted, like, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people, like, this isn't going to be the one great hope to switch everybody over and make everybody see the light. But goddamn, wouldn't it be nice? Off the account. God damn, Carnell MD, that sucking. Yeah, Eidetic X. They found a treasure trove of HDD and USB storage devices, terabytes of data. Like, again, what's going on with Alex Jones in his show? I think he's supposed to fucking be giving it up soon. Every time I hear from Alex Jones, is talking about how we be shut down at any moment. Blah, blah, blah. Like, come on, man. Is it possible they will have tampered with the files during all these months they had a year? I mean, I feel like that's what they've done to the best of their ability with the redactions. But files like these have backups upon backups upon fucking backups. Like, evidence like this at this profile of a case is not like, oh, somebody deleted the file. Whoops. Otherwise, you bet your ass this shit would have already gone missing. Otherwise, there would have been a server fire somewhere and would have been like, oh, damn, that's crazy. All of the Epstein files just poop. That's, oh, shucks. I guess we'll never know. That's what would have happened. But I think their closest stopgap, their closest thing to being able to do that is redactions. Centaur74, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Oh my God, fighting a hobbit. No way. Hey, Vess, whacked myself with a chef's knife, dicing vegetables. Now I'm sitting here with stitches on my finger and a $700 hospital bill. I am so sorry. I have a thumb scar from where, like, I've done. I know your pain. Let me just say that. All right, here we go. I am at the door, but will wait for my time. I don't want to come early to find Trump in your house. This is from a girl who was visiting in 2017. $10 p.m. Should I bring special cake from New York? Send me the address again and the code to the door so I can get on the second floor, and send me the day and time. Flying to Paris. That's crazy. Just some emails. Yeah. Just some emails. Mario Striker, thank you also very much for becoming a member. So let me see. I want to see the... Oh, we should also talk about the Sydney Sweeney thing. I mean, there's not much to talk about the Sydney Sweeney thing. Her new movie bombed. She is like so dumb in every way that she is navigating her fame. I've never seen somebody go from being such a like hot property in Hollywood, like a lot of really good, really well selected projects, and I think that's going to change soon. Especially if the movies she's making don't get a fucking yeah, she was courting the right before and she's doing it now, and like if all of her movies keep bombing like this last one did. Sorry, Sydney. Sorry, honey. Alrighty, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go fill up my water and then we will get to here we go. Okay. I'll finish this really quick. Trump's administration on Wednesday ramped up a pressured campaign on congressional Republicans who are pushing for a full release of the department files about Jeffrey Epstein. Top officials met in the White House Situation Room with Lauren Boebert, a Colorado Republican who was backing an effort to force a House vote on whether to demand the release. She was summoned to sit down with top Justice Department and FBI officials, according to two people familiar with the matter. One of the people said the session included Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Both people spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to comment on the private discussions. Carolyn Leavitt, the White House press secretary, confirmed that the meeting had taken place, calling it an example of, quote, transparency. And that was how we all started with it. So that means at this point, we can all but guarantee Pam Bondi and Kash Patel know that shit. They know exactly what fucking happened. Ooh, they know what happened. Alrighty. Basically just her latest movie flopped. So here's the problem. Her latest movie flopped, and it was like a vehicle for her. Like they were very clearly trying to get like award season buzz and shit about it. And additionally, there was the absolute fucking T-ball layup of all time in an interview I've ever seen, where she just needed to be like, of course I denounce white supremacy. And she decided it would be a good idea to be like, well, when I want to talk about something, I'll talk about it. And it's like, what do you just got to say the one thing, honey. Like, we don't need a treatise on how you feel about it. Literally, you just have to say one thing, and you can't do that. Girl. Her last 3 movies flopped? Did they really? What have Sydney Sweeney's movies been? Hillbilly Elegy 2. At this rate, she's going to be next to fucking Gina Carano. I guess, I don't know. Oh, yeah, she was in Madam Web. Woof. Echo Valley, never heard of it. Yeah, I guess I remember Immaculate being pretty good, but I guess I don't know Eden. Go to Wikipedia, see if I can find anything about Eden. George Jackson 66. Don't be saying bullshit in my chat like that. Don't be sitting here being like Madam Web was good. How dare you? How dare you? Don't you put that evil on me. Alright, co-starred in Eden. What are we talking? Woof. Holy shit, that is a fucking bath. Directed by Ron Howard? A Ron Howard joint with Jude Law? Fuck, man. Yeah, September 7th. I didn't even know, or I guess the United States release was August 22nd. Whew. That's fucking crazy. 55 million and bringing in a 2.5 mil gross. Wow. That's rough. All right. The other one was in June, Echo Valley, which I don't have data on. That seemed like a more independent one. Release, 51% are positive. Yeah, so it just seems like, Sporadic plotting. Yeah, it seems like a middling drama. So, Coleman Domingo. How is she fucking like homophobic and shit, and she's doing movies with Coleman Domingo? Devil Wears Prada 2 cameo. Girl, you're gonna just be a cameo at this point. Yeah, no, I guess the last one that I was like, hey, that's pretty all right, was Immaculate. I feel like I thought she was more prolific than she was. And maybe that's just because I've been conflating, like, every time one of the Euphoria girlies get a new project, I'm like, damn, that's one of the Euphoria girlies. And so I'm conflating whenever Zendaya and Hunter Schafer get a new project, and like, girl, how are you gonna be a Republican and then fucking Hunter Schafer out here getting, like, you could just be cool. You could have been cool, and you too probably could have been chilling with Hideo Kojima or whatever the fuck Hunter Schafer's doing. But no. Alrighty, now I need to story 5 minutes about Coleman's cool as fuck. Coleman seems awesome. I want to go to I really want to see The Running Man. I've really enjoyed Edgar Wright's last couple movies. Fucking bummer about Baby Driver, dude. Baby Driver is a bummer upon bummers. Fucking I think Armie Hammer's in that too, isn't he? Armie Hammer and Kevin Spacey, I think, is in that. Fuck, dude. Is she gonna be a failed actor turned MAGA in the next year or two? If she can fucking stop doing the shit she's doing, maybe. Why are the right obsessed with her? She's a blonde with big tits. I think I might be wrong about that. Let me check really quick. It's been a minute since I saw it, but I fucking loved it when I did, and then that was shortly before everything with Kevin Spacey came out. Oh, it was John Hamm. You're right. There was somebody else in that movie that was like questionable for some reason. Was it Ansel Elgort had something weird? Jamie Foxx? I don't remember what it was. Ansel Elgort turned out to be a creep. That's who it was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Elgort had something against him, which sucks because, like, that movie. If you put aside the fact that it has dog shit people like Ansel Elgort and Kevin Spacey, man, oh, that movie's so fucking good. Damn, fucking sucks. So here we go. Let's look into the THC ban, because this is not a weed ban. This is THC. It is a different hemp. Anything made with the marijuana plant, made with hemp. It is not a like medicinal marijuana thing. So let's dig into it. Congress is poised to pass a spending bill that will end the record-long government shutdown, but there's a catch. It includes a ban on many THC-infused products. The last-minute provision of the bill would recriminalize many hemp-derived products, reversing their legalization in the 2018 Farm Bill. The Senate passed the funding package MAGA on Monday. Senator Rand Paul waged a last-minute fight against it. He's fucking holding that flag, holding that libertarian Paul name steady, threatening to hold up the bill until he got a vote to strip the THC language. If Republicans amend the bill, it would have to go back to the Senate, and the shutdown wouldn't end tonight. Republicans seem largely aligned with avoiding another holdup. Paul and Cruz were the only ones who voted in favor of going forward. Senator Mitch McConnell, who authored the 2018 Farm Bill, has been a leading proponent of closing the THC loophole, arguing that companies have exploited it to create intoxicating substances. Fucking... All right, what the Farm Bill says. Cannabis and its derivatives are considered marijuana unless an exception applies, and the Farm Bill names hemp as an exemption per a congressional study. Now, here's the fucking thing. Yeah, because hemp can be used for a variety of products. Like, there is an entire brand of, like, lotion, skincare, and hair care products called hemps that have been around for decades and have nothing to do with medicinal or marijuana use otherwise. It is just made using the plant because it's a very diverse plant. The cannabis industry began producing certain cannabis products that contain less than 0.3 delta 9 THC, but a total THC concentration that exceeds 0.3. Some of these products may be intoxicating to the user, the bill's summary said. All right, it created a loophole for intoxicating THC to be sold in low doses. The shutdown would ban those THC products and also non-intoxicating. And here's the here's the problem. If you don't want that loophole, just fix the loophole. You don't need to ban non-intoxicating products and ruin an entire fucking industry. What they're saying, quote, the bill as it now stands overrides the regulatory frameworks of several states, cancels the collective decisions of hemp consumers, and destroys the livelihoods of hemp farmers. It couldn't come at a worse time for America's farmers. The new provision, quote, prevents the unregulated sale of intoxicating hemp-based or hemp-derived products, including Delta 8, from being sold online in gas stations, corner stores, also preserving non-intoxicating and industrial hemp products. The proposal was included in the House initial funding bill for the Department of Agriculture, but was removed from the Senate version following a disagreement between Paul and McConnell. McConnell was initially in favor of legalizing hemp, but has since said the industry is unregulated and poses increasing concerns for both drug enforcement and youth safety. Does that motherfucker still think we're in... The last time Mitch McConnell thought, he is probably having flashbacks to when Reefer Madness hit theaters. That's probably what's happening with Mitch. McConnell, blah, blah, blah. Hemp products legally permitted for sale vary, but typically include food and beverages, balms or lotions, tinctures, and pills. Low-dose THC seltzers have been a lifeline for struggling craft breweries. 2021 state law, for instance, created a boom of companies that grow, manufacture, and sell edibles. Quote, this is a poison pill for Minnesota, said Moss. Businesses could apply for one of the state's limited number of new adult use licenses. That would mean much higher taxes as well as additional banking hurdles. Like, come on, man. All right, so yeah, let's see. From Wired, a proposed federal THC ban would wipe out hemp production. Where'd you go? Wired, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Come on now. Paying less for weed in 2025 than I did in the 90s. Amen. All right, I'm going to see if I can restart this. All right, we're just going to stop it there. And I'm going to go refill my water really quick. Well, I guess fucking not. Fuck me, I guess. Until the show, you know, it's kind of sad. THC products would probably improve Mitch McConnell's quality of life. Well, you know what? We don't want that. We don't want that. Smoke check. You think McConnell still speaks in hushed tones as the devil's lettuce or funny cabbage? I don't think he can speak in anything but hushed tones at this point. Yeah, dude, just fucking... Yeah, I'll be right back. Alrighty. Aw, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me see. The Raider just finished. Wait, no. Montana Schmidbauer, I donated your Ko-Fi. Did it instead of a super chat. Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. I need to actually really quickly move some money over then. Heard my dog doing something. What that dog doing? Drink my water. I have water. I'm drinking it. It's in my Godzilla cup. What's the other thing I wanted to look at? We talked about the Sydney Sweeney thing. We talked about that. Oh yeah, the El Salvador prison camp. Horrors upon horrors await us all. There's no... Goddamn. We could go over a detransitioner who's retransitioning and wrote a fucking insane post about it. Yo, DD's a furry? I'm a furry for pay, honey. Yeah, this too shall pass, but holy fuck, exactly. Yeah, $20 is $20. Ah, woo. Hey, yo? Sorry, I said a woo and my dog went, wait, you're not talking to me? What the hell, man? What the hell? B. Parker, paw for play. Oh, paw for play is paw for pay. Paw for pay is even better. Paw for pay is fucking crazy. That's so good. Geoduck Geoscience, have I talked about the pissed off lawyer? I saw you said you were making a video on them. They've been kind of driving me insane. So I have a video. The reason that I'm so done up is the fact that before I was streaming, I spent like 2 hours recording a video. I had written the entire script and then expanded it, added like 3,000 words to it. I'm going to be trying to pull in all-day editing tomorrow, and hopefully it will be out. I make no guarantees because the video might be more than an hour long on the lawyer. So like I am hoping to have it out either Friday or Saturday. And I really do want it out by Saturday. Hey. Sorry, give me uno momento, por favor. I'm working out a thing really quick. Sorry, give me one more second. I just need to fix one little thing. What happened? Hang on. Somebody... What? Sorry. Somebody's saying... Oh, okay. Epstein apparently planned on blackmailing Trump. Trump might have had Epstein killed, although that's a maybe. Where are you seeing that? Hey, what happened today? Nothing much. Just like the most clear evidence we have that Trump is a fucking pedophile. What's happening right now? I don't know. It is? What did something new get revealed? If it did, y'all gotta like link me, damn it. Most clear evidence that we have that Trump is a pedophile so far. He wouldn't, surely not. He wouldn't kill his best friend. So, yeah, if anybody has a link to stuff that's happening, Trump and Epstein and Prince Andrew met in London 33 days before Epstein was arrested. That's awesome. That's awesome. What is not so fucking awesome, Venezuelans sent by Trump to El Salvador endured systematic torture, report finds. This came out today. More than 252, here's the Gestapo Barbie herself. More than 252 Venezuelans expelled to El Salvador, which is notably also not fucking Venezuela. Under Trump's mass deportation policy, suffered systematic and prolonged torture and abuse, including sexual assault, during their detention, according to a report published on Wednesday. The report, compiled jointly by Human Rights Watch and Cristosal, a group investigating violations in Central America, says conditions in El Salvador's sprawling, quote, terrorist confinement center, Continent Center, CCOT, breached the UN standard minimal rules for the treatment of prisoners. It cites inhumane prison conditions, including prolonged incommunicado detention, inadequate food, and other shortcomings. The groups accused the Trump admin of willful complicity in the suffering that the suffering deportees endured after being flown to El Salvador in March and April, insisting that it ordered the men's deportation while fully aware that they would be mistreated or even face threats to their lives. They're calling an independent investigation by the U.S. Justice Department, although they admit the prospect is unlikely. They're also demanding the Trump admin stop deporting third country nationals to El Salvador. U.S. connivance in what is depicted as a systemic pattern of torture and human rights abuses evokes comparison with the scandal at Baghdad's Abu Ghraib facility during the War on Terror, which is fucking true. Oh, yeah, I have. Thank you. Nehemiah, thank you very much. Did I get more? No. Nehemiah, thank you very much for $5. I'm sure you've seen it by now, but writer Joyce Carol Oates slammed Elon on Twitter, and he's been freaking out about it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I want more qualified writers to go after that little fucking scumfuck just to see how he will try and make it up. So for those who don't know, Joyce Carol Oates, very, well-known writer, has been attacking Elon, basically calling him an insecure man-child who has no real interests, no real understanding of art or culture, doesn't have any favorite movies, doesn't experience art or the world or any of that shit. Accurately, by the way. Joyce, you know what? Let's go through it because it has caused such a fucking crash out. Let's go. Yeah, no, it is the most coat posting I've ever seen. Mute City Nights. Elon's coat posting is legendary. He is fuming. Lady, would you? What the hell, dog? What? Stop it. Let's finish this really quick. The Fat Man Adam, thank you very much for $2. Chuck Schumer should change his name to Cucksumer. Fucking got him. The Trump admin paid the Salvadoran regime of President Nayib Bukele, who has styled himself as the world's coolest dictator, $4.7 million to cover costs of the detention. They accused the Trump admin of hiring the Salvadoran prison system as a prop in a theater of cruelty. The 81-page report paints a harrowing picture of the conditions suffered by the Venezuelans, many of them asylum seekers, from the authoritarian regime of Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, and roughly half having no criminal record despite official accusations that the deportees were terrorist members of Tren de Aragua, something that we have already seen, like we know from most of that shit, not fucking true. Like we know it for a fact. Like go back to the MS-13 and the tattoos and Trump and all that bullshit. Ma, thank you for $5. My favorite movies are Google's top 5 movies of all time in order. Oh my god, yeah. Okay, yes, that's what we'll cover next because that shit is so fucking funny to me. Honestly, not that different from like Matt Walsh's, which it shouldn't be surprising. Like top favorite movies of all time. When you look up like Matt Walsh or for the video I did, there was a point where he had talked about like his favorite books and movies, and it's just like top 10 most basic bitch. Like it's just like, yeah, I like The Dark Knight and No Country for Old Men and Kingdom of Heaven, and it's just like, of course you do, dude. Of course you do. Many of these abuses constitute torture. These beatings and other abuses appear to be part of a practice designed to subjugate, humiliate, and discipline detainees through the imposition of grave physical and psychological suffering. So what I want to reinforce here, that these are people who have no criminal record, who were simply exported and paid by the United States government to be tortured like this. According to one former inmate identified in the report as Gonzalo Y., the facility's director had a chilling message for new arrivals. Quote, "You have arrived in hell." The report, based on more than 200 interviews and forensic corroboration of the interviewees' testimonies, details beatings being administered for minor infractions, such as talking too loudly, showering at the wrong time, or even asking for medical treatment. Three prisoners recorded being sexually abused, with one man saying he was forced to perform oral sex on a guard. The report said sexual assaults were more widespread but were not reported due to the social stigma. The men were freed in July as part of a deal with Maduro's regime that included the release of 10 Americans and U.S. residents who were being held in Venezuela. Bullock said the Venezuelan treatment reflected a broader pattern in Salvadoran prisons that has seen 90,000 Salvadorans arbitrarily detained, disappeared, and systematically tortured in the past 3 years. It's caused the deaths of at least 420 people, according to our investigations, although we think it's probably many more. Quote, "There's a large and very credible body of evidence that demonstrates that in El Salvadoran prisons, the El Salvador government itself could be committing crimes against humanity, and that the prison system that the U.S. contracted to disappear the migrants into." Jesus fucking Christ. I honestly don't even think, yeah, let me see if I can just find a, yeah, here we go, Joyce Carol Oates, Elon Musk. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This acclaimed author's roast of uncultured Elon Musk is an absolute beauty. Oh, I love it. I love it. Look. I've seen that, awesome Stella. You don't gotta play the music, but please read the lyrics to the SSS Gridman OP in English. Why? Why? But why? Award-winning author Joyce Carol Oates shredded billionaire Elon Musk over the weekend, and social media users couldn't help but delight over her roast. Was Elon in on the Star Trek Troopers as a base conservative movie because fuck them bugs culture war? Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, just through osmosis, because Elon, like, follows a bunch of those fucking weirdos. Hey, lady. Hey, lady. Okay. In a lengthy post on Friday, Musk took aim at Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez for criticizing a massive Tesla stockholder-approved pay package that could give the billionaire a chance to become the world's first trillionaire. Yeah, no shit. Oates, who quoted a post from a user seemingly backing Musk, addressed what she finds so curious about such a wealthy man. Quote, he never posts anything that indicates that he enjoys or is even aware of what virtually everyone appreciates, the author wrote on Saturday. Scenes from nature, pet dog or cat, praise for a movie, music, a book, but doubt that he reads, pride in a friend or relative's accomplishment, condolences for someone who has died, pleasure in sports, acclaim for a favorite team, references to history. She continued, in fact, he seems totally uneducated, uncultured. The poorest persons on Twitter may have access to more beauty and meaning in life than the most wealthy person in the world. It's beautiful. Like, it is so... The most scathing... Look, I learned this in journalism classes. The most scathing thing, and it's why I have no, like, bones about talking to pretty much anybody, why I'm not, like, afraid to interview somebody or reach out to an interview. Even if I obviously don't fucking like them, I don't need to beg the question. I don't need to ask leading questions. The most scathing thing you can often do is let somebody talk in their own words or in their own actions. And what Joyce is doing here is relying on the actions that Elon has already displayed through social media. You can just go and see how true all of this shit is. And that's what makes it such a burn. Is that anybody can call him a fucking weird, maybe wannabe furry person with a really, like, a stable of not even wives, stable of just, like, brood mares. But that doesn't really get to him. The thing that gets to him, that really attacks him at the core of who he is the insecurities that people see him as uncool for. And that includes all the nerds that he spent so long trying to make himself look like the real-life Tony Stark to. And so to come in and say, like, actually, he hasn't read these books, he hasn't watched these movies, he doesn't understand the context of art or culture or any of this shit. It gets him at a point that he is incredibly sensitive about because it rings so fucking true. Matt Gen X, thank you very much for following. Musk went on to attack the author, declaring that, quote, eating a bag of sawdust would be vastly more enjoyable than reading her laborious, pretentious drivel, before calling her a liar who delights in being mean. He's also notably replied to a number of posts about movies and the day since. So here's the thing. I really want to show. Let me see if it pulls it up on that one. Oh, I wonder if he's already deleted these because people. So what happened was Joyce called him out on like not watching movies and shit. And people noted that immediately he went around and started commenting shit like, yeah, that's actually a great movie. Under like synesthetic posts. I have synesthetic block because I'm tired of seeing there. 2. Remember when someone asked him about Evangelion and he just replied nerve? Yeah. It's like it's the same thing as like, yeah, it's like something Blade Runner would drive. Man on Fire is great. It's so funny. So good for me. Oates, in a post on Monday, wrote that her initial comments were out of curiosity as to why a person with unlimited resources exhibits so little appreciation or even awareness of the things that most people value as giving meaning to life. It is, quote, it is impressive that Elon Musk allows critical commentary of himself on X, she wrote in a separate post. That is usually not usually a magnanimity. Jesus Christ, why is that hard to say? It's the A-N-I-M and nim. Magnanimity. No, you know what it is? It's the two N's right, the non right next to each other. Magnanimity of spirit commensurate with the extreme type of non-empathetic person. Damn, clocked his shit too. Users on Blue Sky celebrated Oates' roast, including one who flagged screenshots of ads on X indicating that Musk reads a lot. Oh yeah, I fucking forgot this. Oh, I saw this. There is literally an ad that they posted about how this is when he's not building rockets or boring tunnels beneath Los Angeles or sending cars into space. Elon Musk reads a lot. Here are 9 nonfiction books he thinks we should all read. Yeah, no, worth noting that Oates didn't go for hate here, but pity, which stings more. Yeah. Ooh, that's the good shit. Ooh, that's the good shit. Like it is easy to vilify somebody. It is far more effective and cutting to make you feel sorry for somebody. Like it is... It's almost been the way that I've approached a lot of the videos that I've done, the deep dives I've done, is that like by trying to understand somebody, so often when they are just consumed by their little manias and little, you know, tics or what have you, it just comes sad when you put it into context. You know, Matt Walsh is a great example where when you see the totality, because Matt Walsh is very similar to this, but when you see the totality of how miserable he seems with his life and how people around him seem so fucking miserable with their lives, it makes it so much more sad. Like, you don't even want to try and feed or engage or lash back anymore. Nehemiah, thank you very much for another 5. Colleen Watley said that apparently Musk made a video of an AI-generated woman saying she'll always love him. I need to know if that's true. Yes, it is. I saw that. That got shared around. I think TrueAnon shared it. Yeah, it's... The video is... Let me see if I can fucking find it, by the way. Because it's fucking rad. Yeah, no, he's just spent the last day posting about movies he hasn't seen in 15 years. Let me... Yep, here we go. New York Post. New York Post, you already got it. The amount of cringe is... Yeah, Elon Musk trolled mercilessly after posting AI-generated clip of woman saying, "I will always love you." A young brunette smiles at the camera before saying the line. The video aimed to show off new lifelike video generation capabilities of Grok, part of Musk's XAI, but was quickly deluged with comments mocking the multi-billionaire. Yeah, here we go.
And I will always love you.
Like, looks like shit, sounds like shit, but more notably, which is very funny, like Elon, somebody who has had very public crash outs over the people. Oh no, the audio fucking up is a thing with my setup. It's not supposed to sound that bad. But damn, no, he really does. Hey, this is like the thing that like Blade Runner in Blade Runner 2040. This is just like what Blade Runner 2049 would have. Blade Runner 2049 would have an AI robot girlfriend who he could talk to and who he could have kids with, and he could see the kids all the time. No, he's reaching never before seen levels of divorce. It's fucking like again, it's the type of thing where Elon is the perfect dumbass bullshit mark for AI shit, because he is a deeply incurious person, because he doesn't really value other humans or connection at all, but also because he is just not that imaginative. He doesn't see the value of having actual creativity. Like, if you are trying to illustrate, like, look at this new AI thing we're building that, oh, Grok, imagine anything you can imagine, Grok can make. And the thing that you come up with, which is incredibly telling about your just mental state in general and outlook on life, is a woman going, I'll always love you. As opposed to like any other thing that would be cool. Like give me a fucking, like, you know, just generic dumb fantasy bullshit. Give me like, oh, this is like a fucking this is like Warhammer, but it looks like an 80s fantasy movie or some shit. Like, do the same shit that all the other AI bros do. Yeah, dragon. Just say dragon, Grok. Grok, dragon. Like, you did not. It's just unforced errors with this guy all the fucking way down. Like, you just look at it and you're like, you don't need to be this fucking weird. Like, you are breaching the social contract by being so sheerly, incredibly, intentionally off-putting. You don't need to do it that much. You're choosing to, and I don't think anybody appreciates it. Generate a dragon calling Elon Musk a wiener. Beast Wars? What is Beast Wars? Yeah, no, there is no more compelling fantasy to somebody like Elon Musk as opposed to having a young, attractive, I guess, lady say that. You know what? There is no more compelling fantasy for Elon Musk than having, I would say at this point, literally anybody say they love him. So I get it, dude. Why am I always late to these streams, Mason? Well, in your defense, Mason, I did start like a half hour earlier than I usually do. So if this is just when you're getting off of work or anything, like, I totally get it. No he wants to make the Chobits robots. You're assuming he knows what Chobits is. To which I would again point you to something somebody else already pointed out. When asked about Evangelion, he simply said nerve. Like, it is cathartic. Doesn't read books, pays people to play games for him, and clearly only rewatches the same movies over and over when not being a moron on Twitter. I doubt he even watches them. Like, I feel like he probably just watches fucking like clips or like he probably thinks that like, no, I'm too evolved for movies. Haha. I just watch. Oh my gosh, the bangers account he made. Yeah, Grok, generate epic Chungus Reddit gold. Fuck you. Oh, I fucking, oh, Elon. Oh, Elon. Bastard. Yeah, I guess that's kind of all I have. I have the D-trans thing. If people really want to get into Pariah the Doll, a transphobic D-trans activist who is retransitioning and talks about God, it's fucking insane, honestly. I'd love for him to answer both basic questions about Evangelion, but also a actual, like, in-depth questions about Evangelion. Like, I want to know how many endings there are. Does he think there are? Please get that creepy AI chick off my screen. Let's do... Oh my fucking god, tell me you didn't play Cyberpunk without telling me you didn't play Cyberpunk. Yeah. I think that's kind of it for me, honestly. On like the things I had today, I kind of got through it pretty quick. I was expecting my throat to be a lot more worn out because I had spoken and recorded for like 2 hours before. The Fat Man Adam, thank you for $2. Elon only watches AI slop and Mr. Beast videos. Shrimp, I don't think I could even answer a basic question about Evangelion, and I watched it recently. You know what? Fair. Kyle Kaczynski pulling at the strings, the emergent strings between just this dyad of twink death right here. I like the ending where the butler is the murderer. Oh, hey, Fundy Fridays has a new video. Has Benny Shaps gone woke? Kyle, my leash. You might be mixing Evangelion up with Clue? The board game? Huh? Nani? Kolinsky, not Kaczynski. Okay, yes, that was my bad. Dyad of twink death. I'm stealing. No, I also Kolinsky. I also like that. I look. I fuck with somebody who doesn't back down and doesn't backpedal on a fucking Twitter post every now and again. Like, what can I say? I like somebody who's about that shit. Which rebuild did Tim Curry appear in? Hell yeah. Oh, Clue the movie also has a bunch of it. Okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing there. Well, let's see. What I didn't want to like go into. I die on the hill of all my Twitter posts. Do you now, Juno? Do you know? Do you? Do you? Do you? Versus sad. How old are you? How old are you? I'm gonna go so Jordan Peterson on you for this. I can't believe you would get into my chat with this. I've never watched Evangelion. I know how much people love it, but I don't have the attention span for TV, so I just play video games, browse Blue Sky, and yiff off. If you have time to yiff, you have time to Evangelion. Okay? If you have time to yiff, you have time to watch Evangelion. It's a cultural touchstone. What? Kiss of the Spider-Woman just came out on VOD. Everybody please watch it. I really wanted to go and see... I really wanted to go see that in theaters because I heard good things, but I might actually go because I have AMC stubs and I don't have anybody to do anything with tonight. So when I'm done streaming here, I think I might actually go try and see The Running Man or Predator Badlands. How long is Evangelion? You know what? Evangelion is actually not that long. It's basically one season. Then there's End of Evangelion, which is its own kind of movie, and then there's the Rebuild Saga, which is 4 movies that are all like hour and a half, 2 hours. So I would, I would like. You can watch it. I remember I watched Evangelion for the first time, like half watching it in the background while I was fucking playing Overwatch, and that was 2016, 2017. Rat Girl Bunny, thank you for following. I'm so glad somebody was stopping by the stream on Twitch and was like, Yiff? Follow? Definitely need to remember to watch the movie. Only seen the show. Yeah, so the thing is, and granted, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but you've got Evangelion and then End of Eva, which was because they didn't like the original ending of the show. So what it is it's basically a new last 3 episodes? Is that how End of Eva worked? It was like they basically remade episodes and did something entirely different. And like, you watch it and both of those things are... Like, both of the endings are so classic that it's I don't know, in a weird way I feel like you're missing a piece of internet lore by just missing out on the sheer amount of like memes and also things that's influenced. You think Yiff is like Whiff? Jason Kelly. Tell me you're straight without telling me you're straight. That's adorable. I think Yiff is like Whiff. Aw. It's more of a mid-quel? Yeah. What happened with the Epstein files? We're probably getting them. It was pretty, which is, to me, pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, y'all. Do y'all have a video that you want to see me react to or watch? Because I could throw on... I'm still in kind of a mood to stream for a little bit. I could throw on a... video to react to and play some video games. Yeah, no, you'll be fine looking up Yiff. Don't do it on a company computer, though. But yeah, you'll be fine. Oh, yeah, Sinatra says, hell yeah, let's go. Did somebody just fucking clipped me in the chat? Okay, I'm pinning this. Minecraft poor versus rich experiment. Sonic real-time fan dubs. Why does everybody always, I say, hey, let's watch something I can react to, and the first reaction, like everybody just gets up, they're like, ooh, brain rot. Time to infect Vesper with brain rot. Ooh, hell yeah. No. Nor. Watch AI slop. I will not. Drinkers vid on Badlands? No, because I'm sure I haven't seen Badlands yet. I don't want it spoiled. Oh yeah, let's do some of that Sinatra Says bullshit. That sounds dumb. Oh wow. Now this is a character, huh? Where are they now? Riley J. Dennis. Hot water for... I cannot believe that people genuinely have... That's it? See, did he, like, delete his fucking channel at some point? What the fuck? Yeah, Snuggles. I go by Vesper now. Wait. Critical Drinker didn't watch the video, but he... More of the Sweeney cards? I don't really have anything to fucking cover about Sweeney. Yeah, who did the first 650 episodes? Well, I can't really go into the fucking, like, weeds on somebody if they don't have their shit up. Like, this is just, otherwise I'm just watching. Oh, he hides videos so only members can see. Oh, okay. Well, none of this sounds fun. People also watched, Christ alive, man. People also watched Eugenia Cooney concerning footage. Fuck, man. Man, I hate debating Sinatra Says on my I hate women video plus PewDiePie. Christ, Hassan. 6 years ago. Hassan's come a long way. Yeah, like the Sydney Sweeney shit, like I'm not gonna do like a video or anything on that. Like that, I said that she's fucking tanking her career. Good on her. Go for it. See if I care. Christian comedy short film. Well, I want something like not theological, but to tear apart. Finn in. Thank you very much for following. Eugenia is still a thing. I mean, if by still a thing you mean she's still alive miraculously, yeah. It makes me so fucking sad to see the way that people monetize, and I always look so confused. I hate that, like, the way it gets me always makes me look so confused. Is there a furry Christian following? Almost certainly. Actually, you know what, there is, because when we looked into a couple years ago, we looked into like VR like faith gatherings, and there were a bunch of them that were like furries in VR that did that. What do you think of West Side Tyler? I think West Side Tyler is a mostly well-intentioned dude who's a little bit too transgressive at times and a little bit too... I think he's a little bit too quick to aggro on some stuff. And I think that can... And I say this, by the way, as somebody who is also quick to aggro. I think that sometimes impairs his judgment when it might be better for him to take a step back, but generally I think he's fine. He did do a video where he said I was at high risk of like being assassinated, which was funny. I say funny. He wasn't wrong. Somebody sent it to me. It's like, hey, Tyler's saying that you're gonna get killed, and I was like, huh? Because it was right after the Charlie Kirk thing. But then in the video, what he was talking about was actually a really interesting kind of video where he broke down all of these people in right-wing and left-leaning spaces and social media and like on YouTube and stuff, and their kind of proximity or safety from political violence. And he clocked me. He was like, yeah, no, Dead Domain just like does a lot of gonzo journalism, and they put themselves just out there. They are just on some shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's you're not wrong. Like I've been shot at this year. It's like, yeah. It's a Gundam. What's all right? Talk to me about It's a Gundam. What's up with this person? Oh boy. First result being It's a Gundam DSP. You're wetting my whistle. I do not want to hear about Roblox stuff. I'm sorry, Awesome Stella. He's the left version of Nick Fuentes if Nick wasn't racist. No, because Nick is far more duplicitous. Like, Nick is just genuinely not a like authentic person in how he interacts in any situation. He is always angling for what's going to make him look best or what he'll be able to use for political capital. Can confirm I've seen you at a lot of protests. Yeah, you've been shot at? Yeah, I was in LA. Like, I did a whole documentary about it. Gundam is a chud from the past. Hell yeah, let's go. Chud from the past. Somehow Chud has returned. Oh yeah, I've also been playing, I had a weird, like, I played like 2 hours. The first time I played a game for like anime, the last bastion of creativity and the Western problem. Oh. Men are too lazy to commit to modern women. Oh, and he's been on the, yep, he saw that, damn, that Hassan Piker video did bangers, so I'm gonna milk that for 2 hours. End of EA, 99% less censorship. Oh, does he have a rant Sona? Does he stream with DSP too? Damn. He tries to dunk on DSP. That's almost as sad at this point. Like, do you need to dunk on DSP? It's DSP. Like, what's he gonna do? Nehemia, thank you very much for 5. There's another guy, X Quo Fonte, who's a genuine eugenicist, and his channel might still be up if you're interested. X Quo Fontes. Let's see if I can. I want some real unhinged shit. This is all well and good, but it's not really tickling my ivories. Fontas. Or is it Xenofontes? No, it's X Quo Fonte. Okay, let me try that. Oops. Quo Oh. Oh. Fonte. There we go. 31,000. Oh, wow. Natural law. Let's go, chat. Why is his thing doing that? I don't like that at all. The meaning of life. Oh, yeah. Who decides what's true and other objections? Free speech doesn't work. Race realism. Identity is better than morality. Wow. I bet this POV... Oh, so he's from Poland. Street photography in Poland. Great. Nothing... No bad attitudes have ever come from Poland. I bet this guy is just a real humdinger at parties. Yeah, let's get into some real shit here. Give me a second. I'm gonna go hook up and I'm gonna play some games while I'm listening to this garbage. Let me see. This is what I do instead of hard drugs. Yes, this is how I get through life instead of hard drugs. All right, let me see if I can. Let's see if we've got. Oh, nope. There we go. Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. I've been playing this neat game. Sorry, excuse me. Didn't mean to do that right into the mic. So yeah, let's find out from this dude what is best in life. Is that PS5 Pro? Fuck no. I'm not rolling that deep. This was a very generous donation from a subscriber even. So let's go. How do I do that? I wanna do meaning of life because that seems like it's gonna be some super dumb bullshit.
What is the meaning of life? This question is often met with humorous or dismissive answers like 42 or be nice and avoid eating fat because many assume that there is no real answer. This invites us to reflect, what was I expecting? What kind of answer would have satisfied me? When you ask,
what is the meaning of life? 42. Hell yeah. I look, I asked for some unhinged bullshit and y'all delivered. Y'all have given up the good stuff. Let's get it. I think it is AI. It sounds AI as fuck.
What is
Also,
the
he's
meaning
Polish,
of
so
X?
like, no.
You could be asking for different things. One, definitional meaning. If you look up life in a
It's
dictionary,
Hitchhiker's
you'll
Guide.
find the
Okay.
meaning of the word life, but not the meaning of life itself.
I
Two,
read it
symbolic
when the
meaning. If you analyze
movie
a dream,
came out,
you can
so I read it
research
as a
what
kid.
objects and events represent.
I have not
but that
read
is
it
not what we're looking for
recently.
either. We're not searching for what life stands for. 3, inner coherence. When you walk into a movie partway through, the details appear random and behaviors unpredictable. But as you watch, dots start to connect, and at some point things click. We ask, what is the meaning of life, not expecting a direct answer like 42, but rather hoping for an insight that gives life a sense of inner coherence, framing the fragmented parts of it within a larger whole. The pieces may have always been there, but now they belong to something, and once they belong, they matter.
How big is
Where
this
does
guy? He has
meaning
like
come from?
30,000?
Let's begin with first principles. Level
Oh my
1,
God.
the physical layer.
Okay,
All
dude.
things begin with evolutionary computation, the universal process of continuous recursive disambiguation from the atomic to the molecular to the organismic to the civilizational level. Evolutionary computation
This is
selects for
like-
traits which solve for persistence, resulting
When people talk about how Elon Musk is somebody who likes to sound smart, it's shit like this that has to use words like organismic to you could just say organism, dude. Like nobody is impressed by the word organismic. Like it is this completely unnecessary grandiosity to the words, the verbosity of the diction. See, anybody can fucking do it too. Like you it's this shit grates on me. I asked for Unhinged, y'all delivered. I'll keep listening.
and the generation of form. Form sets the range of possible action because a thing's structure determines both its behavioral affordances and limitations. Function refers to
This
those
isn't
actions
AI?
that
That is
persist because
actually
they
a
solve
little
problems
shocking.
and so are retained and repeated. Now, what is the form of a human being? Humans are essentially self-conscious collectivists. Natural selection acted simultaneously on individuals and on groups, producing what Emil Durkheim called homo duplex, beings who live and act on two levels, both individual and collective. This duality is wired into our psychology. We can think and act as individuals, but also possess a cognitive hive switch that triggers collective identity.
One of my other favorite things about these, like, because I'm willing to bet he's going to get into like race realism type shit. But one of the things I always love about the narratives that they'll spin about this kind of shit is how they accept they use these frameworks to basically justify their way of thinking that there is only one way to be like a successful, happy, or healthy human. That this is the unilaterally best way to live your life, and anything outside of that will be verboten, or you won't, like, oh, it goes back to the same shit of like, this is the way that humanity has always done. And really what it is it's just like this pseudo-philosophical drivel that leads to these broad assertions that, hey, what do I know? Jordan Peterson has based his entire fucking life's work on this kind of stuff, so maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something to talking about the ancient dragons of chaos that, we've all known about and taken for granted for years.
And ego transcendence, enabling group cohesion and sacrifice. Humans don't merely tolerate life in groups because it is strategically necessary. They long for participation in something greater than themselves. As for biological function, the purpose of human animals is the same as any other,
recreate.
to reproduce and preserve
go.
our kind. If we don't endure as a distinct people, nothing else really matters anyway. But because humans possess reflexive self-awareness and knowledge of our finitude and mortality, we cannot be satisfied with simply performing
like,
our function
you don't need
like
to
a
say
cow.
mortality,
We require a larger
or you don't
narrative
need to say
context which-
finitude. Like it's that this is something I need to check myself of doing it, where you repeat the same thing because you think of two words. I do it, but like finitude and mortality is literally the same thing. It is not expanding on the previous point.
justifies our actions, making life feel worthy of being perpetuated. Thus, in our search for meaning, we cross from the physical level of causality to the psychological. As Brett Anderson explains in his article, The Evolutionary Psychology of Meaning in Life, the psyche tracks integration across three facets. 1. Coherence, the world and the self make sense. 2. Direction, my behavior is directed by clear goals. And 3. Significance, I am socially embedded and matter to others. The more our beliefs, values, goals, perceptions, and behavior are aligned, the more integrated our psyche, signaled by the felt mood of meaning. The less these things are aligned, the more disintegrated our psyche, signaled by the feeling of anxiety.
No.
This is why meaning and anxiety are inversely related.
Won't let me go.
Anxiety
I'm stuck.
rises when there is a conflict between internal subsystems, such as when our motives and values contradict each other. Meaning, in this sense, is the positive valence of low internal conflict. But coherence, direction, and significance cannot remain isolated parts. They require a unifying principle that gives them form. This is the function of narrative. Narrative acts as an interpretive filter, selecting and arranging events into a temporal arc. In this way, narrative provides
You'll notice
the shape.
The other thing is that he never is able to put these ideas into a smaller, more refined context. He's never able to. God, I feel it's infecting me. The just incessant need to be overly flowery with what I'm saying. But he's never okay, here's the thing I'm saying, and this is how you know that he's somebody who probably doesn't actually understand what he's saying and what he's talking about and is just repeating these concepts as he's heard them, is that he's never, because I did this in the Baudrillard thing, where you explain these very in-depth concepts that psychiatrists, philosophers, people have spent decades expanding on, looking into, filling up these frameworks, interpreting them, innovating on them, all that shit. And then you want to make sure to the audience that you're explaining it to that they can understand that outside of all of this bullshit is being able to cleanly tell his audience what these ideas mean, because I think mostly he doesn't understand it. What game is this? This game fucking whips. This is it's called Bloodlust, it's called Bloodshed. And it is
both the frame that binds the facets of integration into a whole
shooter,
and
vampire
the lens
survivors,
through which we perceive that whole as intelligible.
And this level
Integration
in particular
weaves
is
the
like the
threads,
Resident Evil 4
beliefs,
Village,
values, goals, desires, and behaviors, and narrative provides the pattern that makes the fabric recognizable. Put another way, integration is the grammar of narrative, since a narrative only works if the pieces actually fit together coherently.
Put another
and
way,
narrative is the grammar of meaning,
what?
since what makes coherence intelligible
the grammar
and
of
tell
meaning? What
is
the
a story,
fuck are you talking
arranging
about?
life's threads into a pattern we can perceive and a story we can live. Even something.
You'll notice how he's saying it's put another way is the way he phrased it. He's like, put another way. I don't know. Again, I just slipped. The Bill Maher came right out of me. It's not put another way. It should be put simply. Man, it is. It's Jordan Peterson. It's Petersonian word salad. It's just, I find this exhausting more than anything.
Objectively great, such as Michelangelo's famous statue of David, derives its deepest meaning from its narrative context. Stripped of that context, David is merely a masterful piece of marble admired for technical execution. But people do not cross the world to see it because it is technically impressive, they revere it because it embodies the spirit of Renaissance Florence. It is an icon of a particular people, civilization, time, and place. The marble and chisel gave it physical form, the story gave it its soul. So too with our lives, they acquire meaning as works of art within the collective story of our people. In our search for meaning so far, we have crossed from the physical to the psychological level. Now, having brought up collective narrative, it is time to move from the psychological to the civilizational level. As we've seen,
you haven't talked about the psychological. You've said the word psychological. You haven't talked about the psychological impacts of art or culture or any of that shit. You haven't talked about why, you haven't broken down and actually talked about why these pieces of art are so significant outside the fact that he's saying because it's objectively a great piece of art. and because of the narrative of that we associate with Renaissance Florence and the greatness of it. Okay, why? Like, you are just making these broad, this is pissing me off so much when people do this. They make these broad assertions and then don't tie it together. Look, chat, if you're ever watching one of my videos, because I know people have done it, where they watch my video, people get mad at me. People got mad at me for the Brianna Wu video, where, because it's like an hour and a half, something long, and people watch it and they're like, why don't you just get to the point? Why is there a half hour of preamble? And why do you set up all these things? Why do you have to layer your videos? And this is, if you're ever wondering why a video takes so long for me, it is usually this kind of layering process that I do, where I will introduce ideas, talk about them, expand on them, and then kind of let them sit and build off of them to come back to them another time and like click them together for you. And it's the reason why I go through such extraneous effort to put together videos like this, which is not easy to do. It would be so much easier if I just did the thing I've been considering with, not considering, I've been thinking about this with the Hendrix and Destiny thing, is that there are so many videos, there are a couple videos of Destiny stuff out there that are just like summaries. You know, it's like the 5-hour video essays of some anime or some nerd property that are just like a summary of the thing. Like you are listening to somebody's deep, incisive review about, you know, Last of Us or fucking Baldur's Gate or whatever. But 10 of the hours is just explaining the thing that's happening, not the significance. It drives me fucking nuts. Where upon ye?
Requires narrative, but a purely personal narrative is thin and fragile outside the anchoring framework of a collective narrative. Only within the transcendent order of the group can integration be fully realized and life become maximally meaningful.
Dog, this guy would fucking go crazy on some Nietzsche. I doubt that he's read that. But he wants to talk about like how things are passed down and how different societies see morality and all that shit. Like he would like that.
All the self-help in the world cannot produce healthy individuals in an atomized society. Remember, the human form is homo duplex. We are not, nor have we ever been, natural individualists.
This thing
the
that we haven't
of meaning production at the civilizational level starts with group evolutionary strategy. For a people's story to endure, it must be embedded and embodied in a group evolutionary strategy which serves to align individual behavior with collective survival, producing individuals capable of sacrifice, coordination, and reproduction in service to something larger than themselves. Collective narrative is one component of that group evolutionary strategy, serving as an interface connecting group members to their group evolutionary strategy,
he is going into
and emotional.
He is going into the fucking who's the Jordan Peterson? The fucking, oh come on, somebody knows who I'm talking about. Symbology. That's not Kant. It's fuck. No, not maps of meaning. It's all the shit that fucking Jordan Peterson stuff is built on. Is the thing. Carl Jung, Jungian. Thank you very much. It's the Jungian psychology where everything you think of is a fucking symbol of some kind. Where it is like it comes back to being. And this was the thing that I think Freud and Jung had a whole thing about it. Had a whole falling out about it because when Freud was arguing about like dream interpretation and dream psychology, is that you cannot just like argue somebody's own personal psychology for them using these symbols. Like these symbols are not universal to somebody else's cognition, right? But yeah, Jung. Everybody see I knew as soon as I said that, I knew everybody would get Jung. Ori Kitty, thank you very much for following. And Joseph Campbell, of course, because that's Joseph Campbell is like where the hero's journey and all that shit. I'm Carl Jung, if you know what I mean. Hey Juno, are you still in here? Fucking called out. Oof.
compelling. Identity, place, role measurement, or IPRM, provides the concrete daily channels through which individuals find belonging, order, service, and feedback to embody that group evolutionary strategy. Let's break each of these down a little bit. Identity answers
please.
the question,
You seem
to
so
whom
qualified
do I
to
belong?
explain
Your
literally
identity
anything.
names your family, tribe, and nation, your kin, kith, and folk, without whom you are nothing. You are your father's son, your nation's citizen, your ancestors' heir.
Making
Identity
these
also makes
fucking
clear who you are
assertions.
not, thereby demarcating the in-group
He's
from
making
the
the assertions that, like, without these things, you are nothing. Okay. No, that is your perspective. That is your understanding of how these things work upon you and the societal structures we make. But that is not some kind of universal truth. The white nationalists and weird Nazis and all these people, Juno dear, I could be Carl Hung, but I'm not sure. Juno, don't fucking lie to don't come into my stream and lie to my face. Don't play bashful now. The funny thing is Freud has been partially vindicated, but Jung has been completely debunked. Well, and the more annoying part is that Jung has lived on and will live on in perpetuity thanks to people like Jordan Peterson, who, like Jordan Peterson, very clearly developed a weird imprinting fixation with Jung, where he was just like, this guy fucking gets it. And he didn't. He didn't. Ollie Esperanza, thank you. Argumentative essay and stated my opinions as my opinions. Yep. That's the way it
identity,
feels.
There is no us, and so no organization. Place answers the question, where do I belong? Place refers to your position in the social hierarchy of your group, giving your life...
The emphasis on AI slop is not lost on me, but like when you are saying this thing, identity, there is no us, and so no organization, is like, okay, but that's one singular definition of identity. You have failed to illuminate that for the entire audience, and therefore, like, unless you are also coming into this pseudo-eugenical framework, unless you are somebody who is predisposed to liking this shit, or at the very least predisposed to being swayed and influenced by somebody who barely knows what the fuck they're talking about and probably can't give any examples of it, this isn't going to do much for you. You're just kind of going to be lost. He doesn't do enough actually guiding. It's very frustrating. Go back to shooting these goat demons.
Clear shape by determining your obligations and expectations. Without people knowing their place, there is no order, and without order, no harmony.
Knowing their place,
answers the question, how do I serve? In a healthy society, your role is not arbitrary, but connects you to a function that supports your people, biologically, economically, and culturally. In a healthy society, members are not free-floating individuals, but threads in a unified social fabric, preserving the past, sustaining the present, and securing the future. Measurement answers the question, am I serving well? A system of measurement provides the standards, signals, and feedback that allow individuals to calibrate their behavior, ensuring that the man who serves well is esteemed, while the one who defects is sanctioned. Together, IPRM connect the individual to the group's narrative and evolutionary strategy. Just as coherence, direction, and significance integrate the submodules of the individual's psyche, so identity, place, role, and measurement integrate the individual members of the collective. We can now see that life is both a story and a game. Narrative and strategy are complementary, revealing different sides of that same reality. Meaning arises when story and strategy at both the individual and collective levels are fused. When personal story is embedded in a collective narrative, personal actions are integrated into collective strategy.
Give me one example. Give me one fucking example that shows me you know what the fuck you're even saying.
Gives direction to personal story. If meaning arises from psychic integration within a people's story and strategy, the West's meaning crisis is no mystery. It is the direct result of the disintegrative logic of liberalism. Born of the Enlightenment, liberalism is essentially a rebellion against what Heidegger called thrownness, the reality that each of us is cast into a particular time, place, people, and story. You do not choose your parents' ethnicity, sex, language, or history. These givens define the raw material of your life. Traditionally, heritage was seen as good and natural. A boy was his father's son. Roman was heir to Rome. Liberalism, by contrast, tells us to resent our thrownness and reframes every tie.
Okay, he has not also not unless I went crazy, he did not define liberalism, but here's you get you get the classic white nationalist bullshit where they say something that is like sounds objectively true, where you're like, yeah, the place you're born into, your race, your ethnicity, your family history, all that stuff affects the material reality you are given to start with. This is your starting block. This is the go button. But then you're like, and this is why liberalism says that none of that stuff matters. Huh? What? Please talking about. Oh yeah, no, he didn't. He's not going into sexuality. Like, you think this guy?
Our very inheritance as oppression and restriction to be cast aside. Liberalism,
and this, by the way, is not
both
what
the
liberalism
left
is
and
psychologically.
mainstream right, which are but two flavors of liberalism, sharing the same foundational premises. One, universalism, or sameness over distinction. That is, what makes us all the same is more real, valuable, or morally binding than what makes us distinct. Its effect is to collapse qualitative distinctions by making the universal ontologically prior to the particular. 2. Individualism, or part before whole, that is, the individual is imagined to exist prior to and independent of the group. Its effect is to collapse organic bodies, family, community, nation, into aggregates of individuals. The first premise gives birth to the second. If mankind is more real than a particular tribe or nation, then groups are derivative. If groups are derivative, their claims can never outweigh those of man as such, and once groups lose ontological standing, only individuals remain. Once only individuals are really real, the individual must come before the group, and voila, society is redefined as a voluntary contract among interchangeable parts.
Okay,
together,
but
the
it
premises
is.
of liberalism dissolve identity, place, and role, leaving the individual floating free of any story or strategy larger than himself. Liberalism thus undermines the conditions.
Hang on. What the hell? What the hell is this? Huh? What is this? Why are you chewing this? No, bad dog. What? Alright, give me a second, y'all. All right. Like, he's trying to assert that if you can understand the concept that we are in society, like he is trying to, again, conflating these concepts that are not, you can hold both ideas in your head at the same time, that you are determined, your place in the world is determined by where you come from, what you look like, skin color, all that shit, but that also how society functions is an interrelatedness of all of those aspects of any one person with everything else, all of these other things. Like,
from which meaning arises in two ways. First, the individual is cut loose from his group, told that his identity, place, and role are self-authored rather than inherited, and that his group, the extended order of kin, community, and nation, is not an...
The problem with this is that, and this is probably why he's not talking about, or at least hasn't brought it up yet when it comes to, like, queerness, is that, okay, what about aspects of your identity or your heritage or any of that shit that are self-determined, that are, to some extent, self-authored? Like, what's the over-under on that, bucko? Huh? Kind of seems like you're not, Sorry, I'm trying to get this big devil guy down.
organic reality, but a construct, a mere aggregation of individuals bound together only by assent to propositions. Second, narrative is separated from strategy. The inflation of our story into universalist abstractions like the moral arc of history and progress toward universal human rights and equality detaches narrative from its concrete particulars, thereby disabling it from guiding collective action. Once the group's strategy can no longer be enacted, its members become deracinated, interchangeable laborers and consumers, seeking through consumption the meaning and belonging that only participation in a living tradition can provide. If entropy is the dissolution of distinctions, boundaries, and
can you
hierarchy,
assert that thing
then
when you haven't even
liberalism
fucking
is
defined it?
entropic by its very nature, dissolving the forms that once gave society its shape and cohesion. These intermediary institutions and ways of life once stitched people into a unified social fabric. The family, gender roles, guilds, councils, traditions, kinship obligations, and localism. These structures had previously answered the questions: to whom do I belong, where do I stand, and how do I serve? The left interprets structure as oppression. Thus, it must liberate the child from its family, women from the patriarchy, and minorities from majority culture, collapsing the vertical distinctions of excellence and authority so no one may stand above another. The mainstream right interprets structure as constraint. Thus, it must liberate the individual from all unchosen duties, customs, authorities, and ties to place and inherited identity, dissolving the horizontal bonds of solidarity, which once embedded the individual within a family, community, and folk. What liberalism dissolves socially, the individual experiences psychologically. Social entropy becomes psychological entropy, manifest as cognitive dissonance, anxiety, and identity crisis. As Martin Stepan observes, quote, functional regimes are the ones that allow people to perform their role and reward them for it.
Okay, so he said all of this shit to get around to the point that liberalism is why people are depressed? Huh? Cupcake. All right, we only got a minute and a half left. Jesus Christ. Sorry, now I have hiccups. Yeah, the way he keeps saying folk, thank you very much, Nehemiah, for another 5.
Not the ones that let them do whatever they want without instruction. Humans without group strategy, without human purpose, go back to being mere animals and make perfect labor and perfect customers, having no aspirations beyond hedonism, exactly the kind of humans merchants need. So my suggestion would be...
Oh my gosh, merchants, huh? Merchants, you say? What an interesting way to phrase that. Not capitalists, not industrialists, merchants. All right, let me see this other one. Who decides what's true? Or you know what? Let's do free speech doesn't work. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's capitalism that's... No, it's not capitalism, it's liberalism.
In response to increasing censorship by the left, the rise of free speech warriors on the right is understandable. But a return to free speech is not going to solve our problem. In this video, I'll cover why freedom of speech doesn't work and what should replace it. The American founders established free speech on the foundation of Enlightenment faith in
Yes, please. YouTube channel with 30,000 followers.
For truth,
please,
where all ideas could compete and the strongest would prevail. The First Amendment reflects this faith in a free marketplace of ideas. Thomas Jefferson captured this spirit when he wrote that, quote, error of opinion may be tolerated so long as reason is left free to combat it. end quote. And James Madison likewise believed that, quote, in a republic, light will prevail over darkness, truth over error, end quote. As it turns out, this optimism was misguided. The American founders were brilliant and educated men, but they lacked an adequate understanding of human nature and did not foresee how technology would later tilt the scales toward deception. Freedom of speech fails for several reasons. First, preference for affirmation over falsification.
Oh boy.
Second, lack of cognitive capacity. Third, asymmetric control of information. And fourth, absence of accountability. Let's go through each of them. First, most people seek affirmation rather than truth. In his book, The Righteous Mind, contemporary psychologist Jonathan Haidt likens the human mind to a rider on an elephant. The elephant represents our deep and powerful subconscious self, home to our instincts, moral intuitions, and emotions that drive most patterns of thought and behavior. This part of ourselves operates continuously, automatically, and with little to no effort. The rider, on the other hand, represents our conscious, deliberative, reasoning self, the part of our mind capable of crafting arguments and weighing evidence. Most people greatly overestimate the rider's willingness and capacity to seek the truth. In practice, for most people, the conscious rider simply works to justify already clung to beliefs and to excuse one's behavior, acting more as a lawyer or press secretary than a careful, rational scientist. In matters of morality and politics, people first feel something, disgust, fear, empathy, etc., and then use their reasoning faculty to defend what they already feel to be right. In matters of public debate, then, most people aren't really seeking truth, they're simply cheering for their elephant's team. Second, most people lack the agency and intelligence necessary for decidability. Cognitive labor is expensive. Truth-seeking requires both high agency, the will to act on reason, and sufficient intelligence, the ability to model causal structure and detect error. Yet the evidence shows that the majority, perhaps 80%, of
need for cognition is related to higher general intelligence. 80% of people are not smart enough to arbitrarily, the majority, 80% of the population falls below the threshold for independent, rational deliberation on abstract or unfamiliar topics. I still don't think you have the ability for rational deliberation on an abstract topic. Most people defer to authority, heuristics, or emotion, holding to a belief that feels so comfortable, that feel comfortable and signal belonging to their group. Okay, buddy.
The population falls below the threshold for independent rational deliberation on abstract or unfamiliar topics. Speech is...
Alrighty, chat. Well, I kind of just wanted to play one game, and I'm done with this guy. I'm done with this guy. Let's go over and say hi to, who should we raid? Also, I keep my computer keeps having a weird thing happening, and I kind of don't want to deal with it. Goddamn, Hassan's in China right now. We could go Necosurus or actual Jake. What do you? It looks like Jake just started, so let's go say hi to the Cobb Father. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Do not forget. Oh, sorry, Moth. Thank you for $5. Word gumbo. Just throw whatever you want in the pot and hope the overwhelming flavor masks your mistakes. My reaction to both of those things. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Please give to Naomi. And is Surus still on? I've already said I'm gonna raid Jake. But have a good rest of your night, and I hope you all have a good one, and stay tuned to the channel because I'm hoping to have that video on Pissed Off Lawyer out sooner rather than later.